All right, so welcome to this evening. It's offered by the Institute for Next Level Leadership. And today we hope to offer you some good insights on what is leadership and how it can change your life. The way we're going to do this, we're going to have a brief introduction of both of us and the Institute. Then we're going to have a conversation. And hopefully you're going to gain great insight from this conversation that you can apply and use right away in your life. We're going to show you the programs that we have in storage, and then we're going to interact. We're going to connect with each other, talk, answer questions, or whatever may be present at that point. Yep, so let's start with the introduction. Before anything else, I'm going to introduce this amazing leader that is sitting right next to me. I met him in 1997 for the first time when I had just been hired as an attorney for a multinational corporation, and he had just been promoted as president for the Americas and president for many other global functions, around the world. So we sat in the same head office, and I met this amazing man. The first encounter was actually in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
It was my first day at work, and it was a beautiful meeting. And he blew my mind in the meeting. His comments were just so on point. His jokes, his sense of humor, his wisdom. I was like, who is this man? I need to know that. I didn't even know who he was until the end of the meeting. But what I lived with him during our corporate life, let's put it that way, was a tremendous admiration for his leadership. And I think what characterized your leadership was the ability to be with the sem terras. The sem terras are the homeless people that live in the center of the country in Brazil, in the hottest areas, working in cocoa fields. And he had the ability to go talk to them and connect with them. And at the same time, come back home and sit with the presidents and connect with the presidents and work with presidents of nations and very influential people and everybody in between, including myself. So I've always had great admiration for the way Mike could talk to the commoners like me and the kings of the world, and just exert such influence. I learned so much from him during my corporate life that I could not help but fall in love with him. I think I fell in love with his mind. I fell in love with his dreams. I fell in love with what he stood for. And we married. And I've been 20 years with him, observing the other side of leadership. There's the leadership out in the corporate world out there. And then there's the leadership at home, when in your good days, in your bad days. And we've been married for 20 years. And I think I've seen, we've been through ours up and downs and arounds, in our crooked ways. But what happened is I was able to absorb and learn very profound lessons of leadership by watching him, watching how he behaved in life, how he responded to life, how he came back to himself, his humility, his wisdom, his humor. And all of this, I think, has been now translated into the programs that we are offering. In fact, when we first married 20 years ago, our dream and my dream was that we were going to leave the corporate life to teach leadership, to create leadership programs. We had created a few leadership programs within the corporation that we worked, and we delivered them to some senior executives in the corporation. And so when we decided to get married and retire, I told Mike, let's do this. Let's run leadership programs. And it took 16 years to actually get to this. And for quite a while, I used to blame Mike, why are we doing this yet? But what I recognize today is that he has always been ready for this, but I think he was waiting for me to be ready for this. I had to, I think I had to climb my ladder of evolution to be able to have the honor of standing beside him and do the work that we're doing today. So I'm deeply grateful for it. And I hope that this work can embrace everyone that comes in contact with it, and it can embrace the world in whatever ways it happens. That's my introduction of the most amazing leader I've ever met in my entire life, Michael Murphy.
I am speechless by that introduction, and I'm so happy that we're actually filming this, because when she's mad at me, I'm going to play this this video and watch it and say it's okay. I'm not my mind. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my body. I am this person that she described. Now, it's my honor, and privilege to introduce Inely. And you already know that we met 20 years ago in Toronto. And I think since that time, we've probably been in, between the two of us, probably 15 to 20 different countries involved in the corporate world. But I met Inely as an attorney. And, I used to say that, well, I won't tell you what I used to say about attorneys. What I will tell you is I met more than an attorney. I met a peacemaker, and I met somebody with incredible observation skills and the ability to stand above the noise of the crowd and observe what was going on. And she provided very wise, not just legal counsel to me, but very wise service to the business and service to the higher good. And she said it took us 16 years, to actually fulfill our dream, which was not just to teach leadership, it was also to raise brown babies on the beach. And so during that time when we weren't teaching leadership, we were raising babies on the beach.
We were learning leadership as parents.
And just as an aside, one of our fundamental beliefs is that we're all natural born leaders just by virtue of our creation. Just like we're naturally born parents, we're all capable of being parents, and we are all capable of being leaders. Doesn't mean that we want to be a leader or want to be a parent or have to be a parent or have to be a leader, but we have been endowed, and that is one of the inalienable rights that we've been endowed with, the actual capability to lead. And our view is you lead from the inside out. And once you can lead yourself, you can just about lead anything. And I don't care if it's a choir or a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It is literally an inside job. And so this is Inely, and she is not just an attorney, she's a published author. I've read her book twice. I think I understand half of it, but I'm getting there. And she's also, both of us actually, I was inspired by her. She did a master's in spiritual psychology and a master's in spiritual science and completed the doctorate program in spiritual science. And I wanted to know what the hell they did to my wife, so I completed the master's in spiritual psychology as well as a master's in spiritual science. And I'm about to begin the second year of the doctorate program in spiritual science. And so a combination of Oh my goodness. You know, the slums of New York and the depth of Sao Paulo, Brazil, all the way to the top of the corporate ladder. We bring a very interesting combination of experiences, cultural understanding, and especially loving into this process. And so we are so happy, you know, and grateful for those of you who have joined us and for those of you who will eventually possibly watch this video. I know I'll watch the introduction for sure. Good?
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah,
That,
thank you.
that is good. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our latest kid. It's like our third kid. Well, Mike has 3 from his previous marriage, 2 in our marriage, and now we just had our third kid, and it's called the Institute for Next Level Leadership. Like I said, it's a dream of ours, and the Institute is here with the programs that we were going to talk a little bit more later. And those programs incorporate what we call the horizontal dimension of leadership, which is the hardcore physical world reality of leadership, with the vertical leadership, which is a transcendental, spiritual, if you will, intangible foundation for leadership. And the next level leader is the one that lives on that critical axis, which is also the name of my book, Critical Axis. It lives on that nexus of the horizontal and the vertical, bringing forward the vertical ever more in everything that we are and everything that we do. So the programs that we create are programs designed to bring awareness, to poke us, to awaken into the leader that we've always been, that we already are, awaken us into the energetic that we bring forward into the world for a real good reason at this time on earth, at this time in our historic patterns, and that we can call forward that energy to manifest something on the horizontal level, on the physical level. So our mission is to empower leaders from within, to remember them into that energetic power that that has been brought forward for a very important reason. And we're going to talk more about that. We do that through 2 different lenses. One is the lenses of the Enneagram, that shows us who we are, not only as a person, but as energy, as spirit. It guides us into our superpowers and our anti-powers. It assists us in seeing how we are utilizing or not utilizing the resources that we are born with. And it guides us into our next level of leadership. It guides us in better utilizing these resources for purposes of manifestation of the greater energy that we bring with us. The other set of lenses that we use are the 5 styles of leadership that we talk about. Those 5 styles of leadership is a way of looking at leadership from a broad enough perspective that we can call forward all our resources, use where we are, what's right in front of us for purposes of manifestation, knowing that there is no accident. We are in a certain situation, we've been given certain experiences, we've been given certain tools for a very good reason. And manifesting that reason, being aware of that reason, becomes our greatest reason to be and our greatest step as a leader. Yeah?
Well, you know, could I add something?
Yeah.
Inely also discovered a 5th dimension of leadership that she said she learned from me specifically, and she calls it leadership. And I have no idea what she's talking about, so she can explain it if she'd like to.
Well, let's leave that for the program. That's
Okay.
one of our lessons in the program is leadership. And I think that is the greatest trap that most of us find in leadership, which is the disconnection between the vertical and the horizontal. That disconnection takes us into leadership. And it's so common to live in that disconnection. In fact, many of us think that that disconnection is supposed to be there, that it's impossible to bring the vertical and the horizontal. How can we do that? How can the vertical come to this earth? And the program is designed with practices, very out of the box practices, by the way, that involves the body, the cell memory, the consciousness, the intellect. It's working. The program works with 3 centers of intelligence. One is the body itself. The other one is the intellect and our minds, if you will. And the other one is the heart, our feelings, our emotions. And so we have processes designed to cover these 3 centers of intelligence so that we come to recognize that the vertical leadership, this intangible, this transcendental, is meant to be in the horizontal. It was never meant to be separate. It's meant to be together, and that's how we get empowered from within. Yeah. So we're going to take a few minutes to have a conversation. I think one of the most amazing differentiations we have as a leadership program is that you have somebody here who has been a CEO for a major multinational corporation with experience worldwide in different cultures, from Russia to China to Vietnam to South America to Africa, you name it. He has tremendous experience in business, in life, in the world. And how often do you see somebody with this luggage, with this background, with this knowledge, giving a program out there? You know? I don't think there are many. And I think one of the characteristics of Mike is that his heart is bigger than any of his other possessions. And so I think it's a great opportunity for us to dig from him, you know, to dig out from him. What are your tools? What are your lessons? What can we learn? How can we stand on your shoulders?
No pressure here. Right?
No pressure, no pressure. But how can we stand on your shoulder to be better leaders for today and tomorrow? And so what we thought of doing today is just diving into a few questions. And we haven't really rehearsed. We talked very briefly about questions that I've been curious, and I think people would be curious about, that I think could be helpful to all of us. And just see where we go with this, right? For a few minutes, and then we'll talk more about the program, and then we're going to interact together and exchange and connect with one another. But so one question I have, and here we go. And this is not news, because this is the title of the evening today, is how do you define leadership? What is leadership?
You know, and when Inely told me she was going to ask me this question, I'm not sure there's an answer, you know, to this question. There's thousands of books written on it, a lot of them by the same people, which kind of tells me that none of us really know what it is. So I want to kind of put it in perspective. A brief history of my background. It'd take about 30 seconds. I'm a kid from the slums of New York, voted the most likely to fail in my high school class. And from that, in between 17, 18 jobs in between that and becoming, a president, I've had an incredible amount of experience, all of which has contributed to who I am today. Not the least of which is after 62 years, I realized that I was actually on some sort of spiritual journey that I wasn't aware of, which actually absolutely reinforced my definition of what I think leadership is. And to tell you that, I have to tell you a story, but first I want to ask you a question. You know, who do you follow? When Inely asked me the question, first off, what makes a leader? I said followers. You know, which was kind of a flippant answer. And, you know, I was thinking of all the leaders I worked for. I didn't follow them. I did what they said because they had authority over me. But if they said, you know, come to the edge, No, it's okay. You go ahead and jump first, and I'll decide whether if I'm going to come to the edge. And so I just want to reflect on something that has a lot to do with not what a leader is, but what his role is. In 2004, something very interesting happened in Death Valley. And many of you are probably familiar with Death Valley and have even driven through it. They even have a 300-foot tall thermometer to announce what the temperature is. But in 2004, in a very short period of time, Death Valley received 7 inches of rain. And then something fascinating happened in 2005. Death Valley was covered with flowers. Death Valley was not dead. Life, human beings, organizations, they're organic. And when the right conditions happen to an organic system, you can't avoid life. And so not only was Death Valley not dead, that 7 inches of rain watered the seeds of possibility that laid underneath the sand of the valley. And the right conditions created life. And so if you wait about the right conditions to come about, that's exactly what will happen. But it is possible to create those right conditions. And so one of the roles of the leader is not necessarily command and control. It's climate control. And climate control is part of culture creation and creating the climate within an organization that changes the conditions. It gives people a different sense of possibility and a broader range of opportunities. It values relationships. It offers discretion to innovate. It creates, what I have come to call psychological safety, a place where people can feel free to express themselves without retribution. And I mean free, like I can't do my job. I need help. And with that kind of freedom, you avoid crises. You actually create an environment within which people can participate and within which they can actualize themselves and be all that they can be. When you create that kind of culture, that kind of possibilities, and that kind of sense of awareness. So I hope that.
I like what you're saying, because I just want to mention the other side of it. There is the part of climate control that we do within an organization, within an institution, within a country. We do it outwards. But then there is the part of climate control that we do inside of us. We have an army of personalities and aspects inside each one of us. And to empower that leader within, we need to apply those same things that are very much applied on the outside. We must apply on the inside to create the climate control within, that it's clear enough, that it's irrigated enough for the seeds of possibility to flourish within us. And so there is a great parallel, a beautiful mirror in leadership on the outside and leadership on the inside.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this is one of the differentiation of the program that we offer, because it's a program that shows a lot of the yin and the yang of life, the outer and the inner, the horizontal and the vertical. It's putting together opposites in a way, opposites that are seemingly apart, seemingly irreconcilable. The program is designed to bring them together, to align them, so that this climate control happens from inside out, happens inside and out. And what we have seen so far in some of our participants is that it doesn't matter whether they are focusing on the climate control on their outer life, or if they're focusing it on their inner life, because usually it's a mirror, one of the other. And through the work that we do in the program, they recognize that mirror, and they're able to extend that climate control inside and out and outside and in, regardless of where it started. And, there's no end. It's all interchangeable.
Whether you like it or not. I came home one night from a class and announced to Inely I resigned as being her mirror. It didn't work, but I tried.
I think that's the thing, it's so hard for us to see our mirror image on the other, especially when we have judgments. But the matter of the fact is that we live in the world of mirror, and that when we can entertain that possibility, there is so much expansion. Now, in order to entertain the possibility that all I see is a mirror of me, we need to have good tools. We need to have good tools. We need to have good community. We need to be able to know what to do with the material that we see. Yeah. So the second part of our question for tonight is, how do you think leadership promotes change? How does leadership change your life, your organization, your family, your whatever the environment may be?
I think, I believe that leadership is change. And it is change. I think it was Ben Franklin said, if you teach me, I'll learn, or something like that. If you tell me, I'll hear you. If you allow me to experience it, I'll know it. And if you just think back, throughout history, most of what y'all did in the past year before you were safe at home, you might have gotten burned at the stake for. You flew, you took some kind of powdered substance to get rid of a headache. Actually, the Egyptian cure for a headache was to drive a spike through your forehead. And it actually it let the evil spirits out. It cured the headache.
And killed you too.
and it killed Charlie and Alice. And so life has been a constant change. I always say that life is like underwear. Change is good. And so and yet the resistance to change is really the fear of not having experienced it. But once you've experienced it, then you realize that change is in constant motion. And, that's what fascinates me about the future, because I plan on spending the rest of my life in the future. And as a result, I know it's going to be different than it was when I was born. And if you're curious, I was born in 1944. So for some of you that are attending, I have kids older than you. Now, it's not the change that is disruptive to people. And I'm going to repeat myself here. It's the lack of having to experience change with their eyes wide open, knowing that change is happening every day. You are living in the future at this moment and the next moment and in the next question and. And so as a leader, part of that job is to handle change, which in sometimes requires you to smile. Smile, it's okay. In the face of adversity. Smile in the face of it. Sitfoa, I used to call it. This is time for Sitfoa. Smile in the face of adversity. Because that will alleviate fear. Confidence alleviates fear. And fear is probably the biggest killer to progress, creativity, freedom, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I just view as leadership changed me and my life, what have you, said every day. Every day. It's like yesterday I couldn't spell it, today I are one. Including the first job you get at leadership. You were probably really good at what you did. And then you got to be the leader of the people that do what you used to do. And when the fit hits the shan, the first thing you do is you go back and do what you used to do, as opposed to taking care of the people who take care of the people who take care of the people.
Okay? Bring you results.
Who bring you the results, yeah.
Well, yes, one interesting thing about what you're saying, I think, is the higher we go into the corporate ladder, or the higher we become in whatever career we end up, the more we are in people business. The more we are taking care of the people who are taking care of the people who are taking care of the people who are doing, actually having to do the manual work. the manual labor. So the people business is a very important business, not only for ourselves, for our family, but for the world. And you were talking about fear, you know, like the how to deal with fear and how fear blocks us from change. I think the other reason fear blocks us from accepting change as a natural progression is because we don't know what to do with fear.
Yeah, we have no experience.
We want to resist fear. We want to run away from fear, anything but fear. While fear is part of change, and it's also a blessing because it brings us tremendous revelations and tremendous message. Now, the opportunity to invite fear for dinner, to sit with and call it fear, call it resentment, call it anger, call it whatever unpleasant situation we carry or unpleasant emotion we carry, to be able to sit with these parts of us and get to know them, not be afraid of them, to listen to them, to feel it. It's something that is not easy to do on our own. I couldn't do it on my own. I had to do it, you know, in really good companionship, and some of you have been my companion in that journey. And until, you know, we eventually realize there is a transcendental, there is a vertical leadership holding me at all times. And so we become more habituated with movement inside of us, movement outside of us. We become more habituated with change. In fact, we start welcoming change and welcoming movement. So a fundamental part of the program that we offer is about movement. It's about dancing amongst the Enneagram. We use the Enneagram, but it's dancing amongst our personality styles and the superpowers that they offer us, and also dancing amongst the leadership styles and the confidence that they offer us. Because when we apply the personality superpowers into the leadership styles, we come up with confidence. It's a way of building confidence within us that gives us the momentum for movement. It's all propelled by movement. Yeah. What time do we have?
We're good. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple more answers that would be interesting.
What would you think they are? You want to just go right to it?
Yeah.
That way we can have, because I want to make sure we talk about the programs and then we have time to commune and communicate.
Right. Inely alluded to it, and I just want to emphasize it a little bit. Most leaders feel that they're responsible for results. Even Harry Truman had a little sign on his desk that said, "The buck stops here." Well, let me tell you, when you wind up in the leadership job, and I tell you, the first leadership job I actually had was running a gas station, and the last one I had was running a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And in the gas station, you know, the issues I had to deal with in running the gas station with all six of us that worked there, and the issues I had to deal with running a corporation with 85,000 people spread across 184 countries were identical. No difference, because they involved people. The only difference and the real complexity of that is the number of transactions that occur between 85,000 people and six. And so you have this aha moment where you say, "Oh my God, I can't do this job. This job is important. This is incredible." And I only spoke generous. I'll be generous with myself. Five of the some 100 plus languages that were spoken. And so it was difficult to communicate without a translator in many cases. And at the same time, the real message was, you, Mike, are not responsible for the results. You know, you get fired for them, but you know, most leaders, they get fired for what they don't do, not for what they did. It's a fascinating idea, but it's been true in my life. You're responsible for the people who are responsible for the people who are responsible for the people who are responsible for the results. And if you can create an environment, a culture where people will believe what you believe, where they'll sign into your values, those are the people that will actually follow you, whether you're a leader or not. You know, if you're just amongst a group, people will follow you. And you know, the resulting wisdom that comes out of outliving the warranty is what you think you know passes through the portals of experience. And if it makes it through, it's what you really do, and that is wisdom. So I just
Yeah,
wanted to make
thank you,
those 3
Mike. That's
points.
great. I just want to mention something that came forward as you were speaking is it doesn't matter if you're running a multi-billion-dollar corporation or if you're running a gas station
For your life.
or if you're running your family and your children, or if you're just running yourself, your life, and all the multi aspects that live within us. Uh, the techniques of deep listening, compassion, clearing, uh, connecting with these places inside of us, just like we would connect with our children or with those in our corporation to create shared values and shared goals. It's very important no matter at which level you're playing. So the program offers practices that are applicable not only to ourselves individually or to our families, you know, those that are our spouses or our children, or to our corporations, our organizations, our schools, our communities. It can be applied in whatever level. Yeah, here, these are our programs. All right, so our signature program, and in fact, the technology we have created, we call this our next level leadership technology. This technology has three main factors. One is to create sustainability, to sustain ourselves as leaders, whether we are up or down or out or in, sustain the leadership way of being. The other one is to know our resources, work with what we have, where we are, what's available right here, right now. And the third one is to manifest confidence. That's sustainability, that sustaining the way of being, that it's the leader way of being, using our resources in an optimum way will provide us with confidence to manifest. So sustainability, for sustainability, we use the idea of the 2 dimensions, the horizontal and the vertical that I have mentioned to you. We also have several leadership lessons. Those are the ground, you know, the ground that we stand upon as leaders. Then we study the resources that we are born with, the resources that we all have, and we study those through the Enneagram. And the beauty of that is to recognize that we do have all the resources that we need to succeed. We are already born with them. And to find out where are they inside of me? How have I been utilizing or not utilizing them? That's the resources. And then the leadership styles is the dance floor. You know, how am I gonna use these resources? How am I gonna sustain myself in the dance? What is it that which movements, which moves do I make? So the leadership style is really the movement that it's necessary, because no leadership style is better or worse than another. They work when when we dance amongst them. They work when they are balanced, when we are conscious of them. And often we may, if we don't have that awareness, you may reside in one leadership style versus another and lose the dance and miss the rhythm, miss the balance. So this is the basics of the technology we have developed. And we have 5 programs right now that are focusing on different parts of this technology. The first program is the Enneagram Personality Riddle, which are going to be offered in the summer. This program, like I said, is very focused on our inner resources, the resources we are born with, and how we get stuck in our own patterns. We can't really see our way out of this to step into our superpowers. And so we stagnate. The Enneagram is a ancient wisdom that started 2,500 years before Christ, and has been evolving through history, through Eastern traditions and Western traditions. And so it's a way of observing human nature. It's a way of mapping human nature that it makes it so much easier to navigate through human nature. Yeah. So the way we're going to present this is, it's already part of the program that it's going on right now, but we're going to deep dive in the summer with 10 sessions online for 5 weeks, meeting two times a week for 3 hours, 6 to 9, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and deep dive in each of the archetypes. Now, those personality archetypes, they are really a riddle. One day I was talking to Mike, and we were talking about one of the archetypes, and we were talking about an archetype that particularly is predominant in his expression. And he was saying, "Oh, this is a battle." I said, "No, this is not a battle. It's a riddle, because when we recognize the ways we get stuck, it's like we're trying to get out of the knot, but the knot just gets tighter and tighter. When we recognize the paradox, we solve the riddle, and it becomes so much easier to expand beyond that riddle, to become more of all of us as humans. And in becoming more human, we become more of our vertical leadership. We become more of the transcendental. So this program will also offer a certificate of completion from the Institute for Next Level Leadership. And of course, we are building a community and a network with people that you can, connect and grow and collaborate with in whatever area of business you are with. So there you go. Here is the investment. So today, you guys, we are offering very special prices for people that come to our evenings, because we love to connect with you. That is today's price, and that price will be changing slightly in every event, because we want to build the group as early as possible. So here, that's what we're offering. The second program we have this summer is called the Leadership Basics Summer Program. The Leadership Basics Summer Program is 10 foundational leadership lessons. We were talking about the ground that we stand on as leaders. This is like the underground.
Foundational.
The underground, yes. It's supporting the foundation in a way. It's not taught. This is not taught in the leadership mastermind. We think that the people that come to the mastermind, they will get this, but it's a different curriculum. It dovetails, but it's different. And it's building it's building the roots, it's building the roots on how we relate to ourselves and relate to others, and start building that seed for confidence and leadership. And also here, creating network and community, which I think is a great goal of the Institute, is to be a hub for community and network of those who are willing to live the next level of leadership. So this program is going to be on Mondays, once a week for 10 weeks. There's some very unique implementation practices that we are planning here as well. There is a certificate of completion. Yes, and the community. Here is the investment for this program. with the special discount that we have for today. And if any of you would like to take advantage of those special discounts for today, those special prices, just connect with me. Just send me a text. I will have my information later on here in the presentation. Now, the Leadership Mastermind is our signature program. This is really the heart of what we do. We have we graduated one program last year. We're graduating some more graduates this year. It's been an incredible experience. It is growing tremendously. The people who are participating in it, some of them are here. Their contribution to this program has been extraordinary. And the program has been growing because of the caliber of the people that are in it. We've learned so much more, and we've incorporated their feedback and their comments and their perspectives here. So it's really an amazing program. And it's about leadership in all areas of your life. It's about the climate control that Mike was talking about, inside and out. It's about transcending what we may seem as our limitations. It's really taking us to a whole new way of looking at ourselves and looking at the world and the organizations we participate in. This program, do you have?
I want to add something.
Yes, sorry.
It's,
Always jump in when you need.
Yeah, it's and this, all the programs, but this the next few that Inely is going to talk about are highly, highly, highly experiential. You know, we try. Matter of fact, the feedback we're getting is be quiet and let us experience more.
Yes.
So we're trying to follow that guidance from above, but it is highly experiential.
Yeah, and we are incorporating that by having longer sessions. The sessions right now are 2 hours each. We are doubling the time, 4 hours each, because we really want to increase the time people have together to integrate what we're talking about. The program is so rich, and there is so many dimensions and different depths and ramifications that this can be explored. The time that people spend together integrating this is priceless. So we'll have a lot of that coming up. You also get the certificate of completion from the Institute. As a result of this program, we have implemental practices. You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
And yeah, one unique feature is the individual coaching.
Yeah, this has been, I can't even explain the value of that. But you know, there's each month, each participant in the program receives 2 hours of individual coaching, and it's been so uplifting and so revealing. And so much growth in there for us as well. And it's every one of them has resulted in a conversation worth having. But also, you know, because of that, and we are in the infancy of this, we're just going into the third offering. We have to limit the number of people that we can actually accept in the program in order to be able to deliver all the services that we're offering. And you know, we thought about take this out or take that out or put that in or take that. I said no, let's limit the attendance.
Yeah, in our program, there is no way for you to hide. There is no way for you to become one of 100, one of 20, one, you know, whatever. It's like we're gonna come together and focus on what's happening in your life. How is your consciousness integrating this? I mean, our consciousness is like our fingertips, our fingerprints. I mean, it's very unique. And the honoring of being with you as you integrate the material in your own unique way, you know, according to your background and your experiences and the way your consciousness is dancing, is extremely valuable for us, like Mike said, but I think especially for the participants, because we are we're bringing ideas and perspectives that often becomes hidden when we are in the forest. We can't see. And the opportunity to sit individually with all of you has been a tremendous gift, a tremendous honor. And I think it's brought incredible transformation in every session. Every session we see a significant level of transformation there.
That's why I wanted you to cover that.
Yeah.
Such a gift.
So here it is. This is some of our graduates last year, but this is the schedule of classes for the coming program. We have a launching event in October and then a graduation event in May. Last year, our graduation event couldn't happen because of COVID. So what we end up doing is we drove to every person's house and delivered their certificate and took a picture and
a meal.
And a meal. We also delivered a meal because that program was in person. So we were actually breaking bread together before every class. And so we had to adapt for our graduation. But what is happening now that the program is online is the launching event is in person for those who can join us. And those who can't join us, attend online. We have some people from out of the country, John Dale, one of them. We have people in Brazil, people out of the state. So they've joined us for these events online. This is the current investment for this program. And we have a very generous offering for today's price, particularly for the participants here.
I'm the resident capitalist here, spiritual capitalist. And so Inely makes it a point not to consult me on pricing.
Well, that's our investment. Yeah. And then we have the Leadership Mastery program. The Leadership Mastery, the first group is graduating this year. These are graduates from the Leadership Mastermind. Only graduates of the Leadership Mastermind are accepted in the Leadership Mastery program. Right now, the Leadership Mastery 1 provides graduates with a licensing. They become licensed facilitators. They can use all our material. They can use all our processes. They can create their own career upon this. So they can go ahead, become a licensed facilitator, create their own programs, charge whatever they want. They have total freedom in the kind of business they want to create. All that is required here is to use the material with proper credit, of course, and to maintain the license. So every year we come together for 12 hours, and this can be in different formats. You can be like individualized time together, or it can be like a few hours together, but it's 12 hours together per year to maintain the licensing. And we are very excited with the group that it is with us. It's the second year that they are with us, and we've been growing very beautifully together. Part of this program also is we go deeper in the teachings. So we have what we call essential insights. They participate in all the classes for the mastermind. So they're there for the mastermind sessions. And then they have extra sessions, which is called Essential Insights. The Essential Insights is the cornerstone for the program. It's kind of like the corners that sustains this whole technology. It goes deeper. It's a deeper level of discussion. It's a lot more interactive than the mastermind. And very rich in terms of discovering. It's like a think tank, if you will, and a field tank. It's where we really germinate a lot of seeds in there. These are some of our graduates. These are the Mondays where we have the essential insights sessions. And of course, this is in addition to the mastermind sessions. And this is our investment for the Mastery One. And we are starting next year with the Mastery 2, Leadership Mastery 2. These are for the graduates of the Mastery 1. And this is by invitation only. So some of the graduates will be invited to become certified ambassadors of the Institute and actually shareholders of the Institute. The idea is that they will promote, create work, offer workshops, facilitate, create material, coach, or they will engage under the umbrella of the Institute. I mean, they'll become a shareholder of the Institute. So what we are trying to create here is partnership. It's really create an institute that it's a hub where all of us can grow together, where all of us can expand on these lessons. We can create different ways and different ramifications and different flavors and taste for what this is here. Our view is that the more variety we have in terms of certified ambassadors, the more of different styles, different cultures, different backgrounds, the better, because we're all going to attract people that somehow identify with us. And the idea is that we can create a diverse enough basis here that we can all succeed together, we can all grow together, and we can use this as a platform to embrace the world, like I said before. Yeah?
Yeah.
Did I forget anything?
No, it's good.
So the Leadership Mastermind is also 8 months. Sorry, this is the Leadership Mastermind 2, so my slide is wrong here, and I apologize for that. But the certified ambassadors can then participate in the Mastermind and the Mastery 1. And the intention is that they will hold a different role in terms of facilitating events, creating material and coaching. And they will then also gain not only a certificate as an ambassador, but also a certificate as a shareholder of the Institute. And here is the investment for this portion. And in order to maintain the certification status, again, we need to meet together for 15 hours a year. And the idea is so that we can cross-fertilize each other. We can share our ideas, share what we are taking the material, what we've created, what we've learned, and we can all grow in consistent and aligned ways as a result. So if any of this interests you, please, let's talk. Let's schedule an engagement conversation. Text me, email me. You can register for it. You can visit the website. All of you have the opportunity for the gifts that we are offering tonight. So just connect with me if you're interested. Well, here we go. This is a book that I wrote with my brother-in-law. It's a very short video, less than a minute, on the book.
A new nonfiction book from authors Inely Cesna, Esquire, DSS, and Lawrence Lyons Murphy, PhD. Critical Access invites readers to develop their own potential and become conscious creative agents in the world. Rather than using a how-to approach, this guide takes readers on a deep journey into knowledge via several fields and encourages them to choose the good from each as they construct their new realities. This book explains how every single decision we make, from the smallest to the largest, helps inform our roles in the world. Through making conscious choices, we can all experience the ways in which we are interconnected and can positively contribute to the world as a whole.
That's our announcement on the book. Now, here is another gift we have for all of you. If you are interested in getting a book as a gift, just text me your address. I will send you a book for free. And I'll ask you if you want to write us a review.
Complimentary.
Complimentary, yes, complimentary sample of the book for you. And if you want to write us a review, I'll be happy to give you with a 2-hour session with both of us. We want to show our gratitude for you taking the time and the energy to write a review on the book on Amazon, and we offer our presence and our connection is a form of gratitude, and we'll be happy to schedule time with you. Just text me, connect with me, let me know if you want to do that. So that's what we have. I think that's it, what we had for our presentation.
Yeah, we want to have a conversation now.
Yes, now it's time to connect. So let's first open up for questions or comments, or what resonated or not resonated with you. Just want to see, how is this sinking in? Anybody?
Yeah, or is there anything we could have done better?
Yeah.
Please. I feel like we should have offered a set of steak knives.
Just be silent, because I want to hear from them.
Well, I want to say that I've about halfway through the book, Inely, and it is the most poetic writing that I've encountered to date. Just absolutely beautiful. I'm only halfway through. I don't know what the second half has in store, but I just thought it was absolutely exquisitely written, and without any pretense. It's as though it just flowed out of, I don't know if it was you or the other person in the beginning, but just beautiful. So that's my comment so far.
Thank you, Lori. Yes, my brother-in-law, Larry Lawrence, he has a PhD in phenomenology. He's a professor. So he wrote, and I give him that credit because he's a very good writer. And
I taught him everything I know.
and he incorporated ideas from a program that we actually developed 12 years ago called The Turning Point.
You and I.
Yeah,
not you and Larry.
Both of us. We had this program 12 years ago called The Turning Point. And at the time we shared that program with Larry, and he began writing this book 12 years ago. So a primitive version of the book became the basis for some of his programs. He taught at
They taught at Princeton, Rutgers,
Yeah.
Temple, Pierpoint, a number of universities.
So he used the material as part of his programs, and then it finally now turned into a book. The second half of the book is more of the vertical leadership. I think the second half of the book is more of an hour to a great extent influence. The first half of the book is more of like his influence, but it's a very interesting read. Thank you for your feedback, Laurie.
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll make sure to tell my brother. He's downstairs.
I just want to express how happy I am to see Lynn Ventura, Lynn Eisenberg, Maya. Yes, we haven't seen you for quite a while. I've seen John and Ingrid and Laurie. We connected recently, and Cynthia we've seen recently, but and Nancy, although she's in the clouds, we see her regularly. But Lynn Ventura, Lynn Eisenberg, yes, and Maya. It's so wonderful to see you here.
I have a question. Do you have to take the leadership? You have to complete the leadership mastermind before you can do the mastery, correct?
Yes. Yes. yes, the mastery program is, like I said, it's the cornerstone. The discussions go a lot deeper. There is a great fermentation of ideas, cross-fertilization of ideas. And in order to have that level of conversation, we need the common vocabulary. You know, we need to come from the same vocabulary, kind of founded in the same ideas, so that we can grow. And that's why the mastermind is the common vocabulary, is the common way of looking at the world. And then from there, we fertilize new ideas and grow into new concepts and new ways, and deepen in the mastery one.
Yeah, there's essential insights in it.
Yeah, that's why we call it central insights.
We can't hear Maya. I think she's talking.
I can't. Are you talking to us, Maya?
She may have muted herself.
We can't hear you. I'm not sure if you're talking to us, but let me see if there's a check here. Oh, nice. Lynn wrote a note here.
Maya looks like she's checking on her cables.
There she is. Now she's got technology. Do you have any question, Maya? I can't hear you.
She's asking if you can hear us, if we can hear her, and no, Maya,
No.
we cannot.
Well, while Maya is figuring out the technology, I wonder if any of the current participants would like to share about your experience. The Ingrid, John, Cynthia, Nancy, who are part of the current program. If you have anything you would like to share, please feel free. Yes, Cynthia.
I just want to underscore what you two have both presented here, because the richness and depth of the presentation is a microcosm of what we as students receive from you in class. It is such a deep experience, and I love the way, Mike, you describe your corporate career as the beginning of your spiritual path. And I have known of the two of you for many years now, and now consider you friends that I didn't realize I had from many lifetimes, I think. What attracted me to working with both of you, based on my own experience of leadership, was that as a younger person, and I'm sure both of you will relate to this, that I was thrown into situations where I just found myself in leadership roles. And in retrospect, you know, I dived in, I created processes, I led, I, worked with people. And in some cases, it was very successful. In some other cases, not so much. And looking back, I have the experiences, oh my God, just what happened here? What just happened? And, arrived at a place in my life where it was like I wanted to be with the two of you because of the richness of your experience that brought you to deciding to go deeper and do the spiritual processes that would probably reveal to you what just happened to you. So it was like, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just need to be able to be with the two of you and have sort of a defined reflection to me of the learnings I had, but in such a beautifully quantified way. And, I've been stunned by our one-on-one, not only the classes, but the one-on-one coaching has been, it's gone in directions I just never, ever expected was still available to me or present. It isn't, I wouldn't say archaeology, but it certainly has been revealing of, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that material was still there. And I can only say that as I'm nurturing the next steps in my career, I am just so grateful for the two of you being in my life and also providing this beautiful program to utilize. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. We are honored with your presence in the program. I think you are bringing forward a level of confidence and leadership, and in the way you articulate where you are and how you are leading yourself inside and out. It has been a tremendous learning for me as well. So I thank Spirit for putting us together in this tank of life to grow and learn with each other. And I think this program has been a result of many years of in the making, and it's something that we wish we had when we were in our corporate lives.
I'm sure.
And it's also something that I wished, in fact, I hoped that it had been offered by other institutions, like USM or other universities. And I've been waiting for something like this to be manifested for quite a long time. And so part of giving birth to this program has been out of almost the frustration of wishing this to be in the world and not having it. And so eventually it's like, okay, we're just going to put it out there. So I appreciate you joining us in this communal effort to grow this hub as an opportunity to create a new kind of leadership for ourselves, for others, and for the world to come in this new era that we are living in.
Well, what I also just want to offer and reflect back to the two of you, thank you, Inely, is that this is uniquely resourced, as those of you who are or have read Inely's book, in the intellect and the academic resources that are available. However, you two both have this corporate experience, and that is one of the things that really drew me to wanting to work with both of you, because a lot of the learning that I received as a leader was in a very practical environment, and sometimes corporate, entertainment, whatever I was in. And I was really curious to experience your practical knowledge, different from some of the amazing teachers I've had who have mostly been in their careers in academia or, in the spiritual backgrounds. But I wanted to be able to share from my real experience and have your perspective, because I really felt that was very unique.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, John, you wanna share, and then Ingrid.
Yeah, I'd love to share. So what I'm sharing about is why the course is cool. why it's good, why I am appreciating being part of the course. And
I just want to clarify, you're talking about the Leadership Mastermind program.
thank you very much. I appreciate your identifying that. And actually, yeah, it's for me, and I don't know if it's for everybody else, but sometimes the names are a little close to each other.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to keep track of which course we're talking about. Currently I'm in the Leadership Mastermind program. And I would say that the concepts that you're delivering, while the truth is, I don't think I've really ingested them yet. I think I'm in the process of ingesting them. So I'm at that stage where it's a little, I'm laughing because Thai language is coming to my mind rather than English about how to describe it. And I don't know how to translate that to English, which is hilarious because I struggle with learning Thai. So it's a little like confusing. It's a little like spinning head, if you will. But that doesn't mean that I don't have confidence that that spinning head feeling won't turn into, oh, now, yes, that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. In particular, now that we're moving on to different styles of leadership and, that are a little more pre-known, if you will, right? Like they're more like I have touched those more naturally in my life. And so all of them coming together now will offer me something in the future, I believe. So what I'm trying to say is the content there is really good. And also, I think that the opportunity, like even more than that, the opportunity to be with you guys and get that coaching and to have like those long extended sessions of coaching with both of you so directly is like way worth the price of admission, right? Like, like I know that even if there was, like, if I were to hire you guys to be my coach, it would be more than the price of the tuition for the institute, right? Yeah. So like crazy bargain. And I'm not trying to sell it, but like there's so much value in those individual coaching sessions for me. And I think that lots of people would say that as well. And then lastly, I would say that to be in the cohort, like there's people on this call who are now my friends who are brilliant and intelligent, and those may sound like the same thing, but like they are people who contribute to me. I hope that I am contributing to them as they contribute to me, but I look forward that they may be friends and or partners in my future. So it's not just the content, it's not just the people leading it, it's the people with whom I'm in the room as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. I think you brought a very interesting aspect of the program. As I was talking before, the program directs 3 centers of intelligence: the intellect, the head, the body, and the emotional. And so we are bringing forward certain concepts and certain practices that, in my view, it opens new neural pathways for us. It's kind of like we're not presenting anything new, anything that you've never seen. We are sort of decodifying. We are decodifying leadership in a way of talking about it, a way of perceiving it, and a way of living it that may be new. And so I like when you say it's confusing, because the idea is to confuse your mind. It's like it's not, leadership is not lived in the mind. Leadership is lived in the integration of body, the intellect, and the emotions. And to dance amongst these 3 and to really find the relevance in 3, none of them is better or worse than another, because the value is it all together. And so I'm glad your mind is confused because it's opening up space to balance up these other centers of intelligence and these other resources that we all have. And I want to emphasize too how amazing is the coaching time individually is with each one of you. Thank you so much, John.
I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. I loved what John and Cynthia had to say, and I totally concur. And Lori, I love that book too. So thank you for what you had to say on that. I think it's an excellent piece of writing on a very, on a subject that is so massive that they were able to just capture these concepts in such an amazingly clear way. And so I'm so appreciative of that. And Inly and Mike, with their grand experience of the corporate world and who they are, have been able to bring forward what I call the true intelligence of the heart, which to me, it doesn't matter how academic anybody is or how intellectual, if they don't have that, a part of me doesn't listen anymore. You know, it's like it's not driven by the core instincts that are important inside of me. But they do have the experience. They have created a fabulous program on leadership that teaches me something more about myself every time I'm into it. And please forgive me because they're calling me downstairs. So
No problem.
thank you. I love you. Good luck. Sign up. You'll love it.
Thank you, Ingrid. And I love you too. I love every one of you. Thank you for coming. If this is our time anyway, I just want to appreciate your presence and send blessings to you, your family, and all those around you. We hope to keep the connection and to see you again soon. And our next event is on March 25th. So please join us. It's going to be a new theme and a new kind of conversation.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.